Hey everybody, welcome to Insurance Buddies. Another episode. This is our second episode. Dos episode.
Yes. And I mean, listen, all the feedback we got from the first one, we felt we needed to come back and try this again.
Well, no, it's bigger and better this time because this time we have a guest. And our guest is...
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Carie Hamm, Travel with Carie.
That's
Travel
right.
with Carie.
That's right.
Otherwise known as the Caldwell's Travel Companion.
Yes.
That's right.
We actually just got back from a cruise about 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, and she was on the same cruise line as us, and we went on the Disney Wish.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to take all of the spotlight here. We're going to let her tell you about these trips and so on. So, go ahead.
Let's back it up a little bit. Okay. So let's see. Where is your base of operation? Where do you normally work out of?
So I am home based and I do have a desk at the airport.
Oh wow, that's bougie. That's right there.
Well, you will see me there, Charles, because I don't like to fly.
Well, we're going to get you past that.
Yes.
We have an agreement.
Yes, we've talked about it recently about a destination that would be good for him, and I think it's going to happen.
We're talking about like 15 minutes down the road.
I think well,
We could Mr. T him. Like in the old days, like an 18.
Yes. That's old school right there.
Let me ask you this. Do you have any other people like me when it comes to that scared of flying, so they take alternate routes, like drive far away, then get on a cruise line like we did? Or do you have a lot of people like that?
I have some people that absolutely will not get on a plane. Makes me sad.
Me too.
It could open up so many things. So we got to get you past
I
this.
think my wife is to the point to where she's making me go past it. I think we're going to be flying here really soon. I don't think I have much of a choice.
I'll get you some gold chains so you can really do the Mr. T thing.
Pitiful.
But,
Yes.
but it's so good, you can be almost anywhere, at least on the East Coast, within 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
The West Coast can die.
So you're saying Disney World.
Okay.
Or Disneyland. Sorry.
Yes.
Disneyland.
We might go to that.
I feel like you guys need to go there.
We need.
My wife has been, and she says I need to go because I like it so much.
Me and
so
Scott and I need to do a Disneyland trip.
I'll hold your
You
hand.
really do.
I'll hold your hand on the airplane.
You'll rub my back and everything. Make sure I feel comfortable.
So-
I will not do that.
So Carie, let's back up a little bit. How did you get into this line of business?
Okay, so many years ago, we started going to Disney. My kids were eensy beensy tiny, and it just kind of caught on. Kind of one of those things that we started to do more and more frequently. And then my kids were actually the ones who said, "Mom, you need to do this for a job."
Okay.
And I thought, okay, can I though? And then it kind of just went. And here we are. Now we go everywhere and we plan everything.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's great. And where is your most memorable vacation spot?
I can answer.
Okay, go ahead.
She was just on it because I was on the boat too, and that was her most memorable vacation ever.
Because you were Jeremy?
Because she was with me.
Yeah. Sometimes things with him are memorable. You can't forget them.
Especially when he comes up behind you and screams out of nowhere.
This is true.
I think aside from like Disney destinations, because Disney, the magic, all that business, I think Ireland has been my favorite.
Ooh. How long going back to the
It's
flight?
not very far.
How long?
5 or 6 hours? Is it that far?
So we flew from here into Boston and then Boston straight into Dublin, and it was about 6 hours, 6-ish.
It's really not that bad.
No.
So it's the most beautiful. It looks like a painting. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Nice.
The Cliffs of Moher is, where Dumbledore went and retrieved the Horcrux from Harry Potter, and I saw that spot, and I was amazed.
Okay.
So I want to ask you this, and I know this is I know the answer to this. When I ask you where do you visit the most, it's of course going to be Disney World.
Yes.
But outside of Disney World, where do you think that you visited the most just because you loved it so much and you want to visit over and over again?
We love the Caribbean, but I love California.
Do you really?
I love it. Yes. Yeah, I would. That's my trip of choice. Anytime.
What part of
Anaheim? It's gotta be Disneyland.
That's Disneyland.
It's everything. It's everything that a Disney historical. If you like the history of Walt and all the things, it's just a different vibe there.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question that you might not be very comfortable with. Disney World or Disneyland?
Disneyland.
Really?
1,000%.
Oh, wow.
I will never. I'll die on that hill.
So,
Wow.
so Scott and I are huge Disney fanatics. We love Disney World. We go several times a year. So we've not got to travel together yet to Disney World. That's something we got to do.
Yep, sounds good. Sign us up.
That
Let's
sounds
go.
like something that
Yeah.
I need to monitor.
Yeah, you talk to my
heavily.
boss and see.
Business right out,
Yeah,
baby.
right. Yes, we'll quote somebody. So, what, in all your travels, what is the nicest hotel that you have stayed in?
Oh my gosh, there's been a lot of nice ones. I
Super
think,
8.
Yeah, or the Motel 6 because they do leave the light on. I'm gonna say I love the Grand Californian at Disneyland. It's a very much a mirror of Wilderness Lodge.
Ooh.
So, but you can actually enter into the park from there.
Mm-hmm.
I just stayed a couple of weeks ago at Helios, which is, I know these are theme park hotels, but they're bougie. Helios, which opens into the brand new Epic Universe.
Okay.
That is,
And that's in Orlando at Universal.
yeah, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
There is, believe it or not, an all-inclusive in Mexico called Unico, Riviera Maya, and it was one of my favorite places that I've ever stayed.
So is that on the Caribbean side or on
Yes.
the Pacific? Okay.
It's gonna be on this side. And gosh, any place in Ireland was fantastic.
It's pretty good.
Doesn't sound
I
too
guess we got to go to Ireland.
You really do.
Okay.
You really do.
Sounds good.
Now, I'm gonna ask this question just because I love flying so much. If you want to keep me calm,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, listen, I want him to be on a flight that's gonna make him feel the most comfortable.
Okay.
Not so much the most affordable, because we do know there's airlines out there that does that, but then you see some videos on TikTok, it's like, I don't think I'm ever gonna fly that airline.
Well,
And what airline would you suggest, because it's just your favorite airline?
generally Delta.
Delta. So the few flights I have been on, Delta was one of them, and it was actually a really good experience.
Have you landed into CRW before?
No. Oh yes,
Here.
actually I have.
Here.
Yeah, a few times. Yes, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what did it to you?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. What probably did it for me was the last flight coming from Charlotte to Charleston. They put me on a little propeller plane,
Jumpers.
and it made me feel like we dropped about 842 foot at a time, and my stomach felt like it was in my throat, and I was like, I do not like this too well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was my last flight, and it's been now 17, 18 years, something like that.
Yeah, landing into CRW is a challenge. It's always fun, but it's a challenge. So I can see that.
That's good. So how far out should one start to plan? You know, how far out should someone contact you if they're thinking about going somewhere?
It's going to depend on the destination.
Okay.
If it's Disney, it used to be, you know, old school. You guys are Disney fans. It used to be you had to be way over 6 months ahead
Mhm.
in order to be able to get what you want.
Well, the dining reservations and
Mhm.
everything else
Yeah.
you have to do.
Ever since COVID, things have changed with that. Depending on how much time you need to pay for your trip, with Disney, you can do from 80 days all the way back to all the way through 2026 from this point on.
Mhm.
So you're looking at that. With Europe and cruises and things like that, sometimes those take a little bit more financial planning and things like that. So 2 years, year and a half is what you're looking at.
Okay.
But I literally this week I've planned Disney trips with less than a 7-day turnaround, and
That was my next question. What happens if somebody calls you? Could somebody call Carie today on Friday and say, I need to go somewhere tomorrow on Saturday?
So,
Yes, it happens.
well, I can vouch for something here. So, my daughter had a cheer comp, as you know, at Summit.
Uh-huh.
And we were like, well, let's go down a day early. And we're going to hit Disney. We're like, I want a VIP pass because let's do this real quick. Nobody was available. And I was like,
For the VIP pass.
the VIP pass,
Wow.
because they have to book these people
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
and they have these people strategically planned for everything. And Carie pulled the trigger, got somebody in on their day off, on the same, actually probably within, I was actually driving, I was probably about Georgia, and by the time I hit Disney World, my guy was there waiting on me, ready to give me the VIP tour.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so if you want to talk about, she could make the turnaround time really quick.
That's pretty good.
Not trying to tell everybody to wait the last second, but
Please don't.
It's possible.
Jeremy.
yeah,
It's possible.
No,
sorry.
my
fine.
wand was pretty hot that day.
That's right. Her magic
My
wand.
magic wand was rolling that
Okay.
day.
Yeah. What's something you feel like? I feel like one of the biggest myths with a travel agent is I always thought before I met Carie was, oh my gosh, this is going to cost me so much money to get a travel agent. When I feel like I could spend a few extra hours myself, I may not be able to get the same, kind of treatment I would as if I had a travel agent. Tell them the background of that.
So we are taken care of by the vendors. Any type of trip that you book with me, whether it be Disney, Universal, cruise lines, whatever, I charge no fee.
Yep. I was going to say that I've used you several times and I don't get charged a dime. And like I said, actually the trigger gets pulled and I get better treatment than if I were to book it myself. And
Well, and the thing about it too is if you do book it yourself, you're going to be calling in if you have questions or things like that. You're going to get somebody different every time. Whereas you're stuck with me, old buddy.
Right.
And so if Jeremy needs something at 10 o'clock on a Friday evening for his trip tomorrow at 7 a.m., we got to get it rolling. So.
oh, I'm going to vouch for you here too. We have a group called a BRG group. It's a business referral group that Scott and I host every Thursday. And she shot me a message Thursday morning. Said, "Bub, I'm sorry I can't make it today. I've been up since 2 a.m. There was something one of my clients needed, and that's the kind of person she is. She got up at 2 o'clock in the morning, helped one of her people on an Alaska airline.
Yes, we had a hiccup, and the person that was supposed to pick them up was not there, and so I sent them a card and made sure they got to their hotel. And then
That's the kind of person you are.
Then I hover mommed them until they got to the hotel. So, but yeah, like I said, I was telling you guys I have people in everywhere from Europe to Alaska this week in particular. So sleep is
So-
overrated at this point.
So we're here in the Charleston metro area, but how large of a sphere are your clientele?
I have people obviously from here all the way to California. I have folks in Alaska now, Texas, a lot of Texas, I don't know why, a lot of Indiana, so pretty much everywhere you can imagine in the U.S. And I have roughly 2,100 active clients.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Now, obviously, I know you love Disney cruises, and that's still on the table here. If you had to book any cruise and you say, Jeremy, I want to go on this cruise with you because I feel like this is the best cruise, this is going to be the best one for you and your family, what cruise do you pick?
Disney would be at the top of my list.
Which Disney cruise?
I would say, as of right now, the Disney Fantasy or Disney Dream, one of those boys are my favorite. Probably Eastern Caribbean is what I would go with. But if I were to pick another cruise line, I would have to go with Royal Caribbean.
Awesome.
I've done the inaugural for all of the mega ships now.
Seen the Oasis, it looks so pretty.
They're gorgeous. Icon, I'll be selling Star soon. Its inaugural is in the summer. Wonder, Utopia, all of those. They're phenomenal. I don't think in 7 nights you could see or do everything on those ships.
Wow.
They're fantastic, and their service level and cleanliness and expectation are right there neck and neck with Disney's.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was super impressed with how well, of course, Disney always does it right, but all the food, and normally, let's be real here for 2.2. Disney, when you go to Disney World at the parks, they're not always known for the best food in the world. They're mediocre. They're good.
What?
Not Magic Kingdom.
That's right. Not Magic
Magic Kingdom's terrible.
Yeah. Besides Tony's, we'll take Tony's back. Tony's is good at Magic Kingdom.
Well,
That's
Are you defending Tony's?
chicken parm. I love it.
I like Liberty Tree Tavern. Liberty Tree
What-
Tavern.
what's your-
Liberty Tree Tavern. I like it a lot.
I like eating there too, but it's not a Gordon Ramsay deal. You know what I'm saying?
This is true. Yes.
It is. It's homey. It's comfort.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay.
All right. So we've talked about airlines, hotels, cruise ships. Do you have a favorite rental car company?
I'm gonna get like down rubber meets the road on the rental cars.
Well, let's do that.
Okay.
That should.
Okay, so this is fair. I normally don't book a lot of rental cars for my clients, and the reason is it's one of the only things that I usually can't get a better deal on than my clients can.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be honest about that. I'm not gonna tell you, oh yeah, I'll book your rental car just so I can say, oh, I'm gonna get a $5 commission here. No, you're gonna get a whole lot better of a deal. I would go budget hurts the bigger names. Definitely not anything with an O in the name. You know, just there's this place outside of MCO, and they have it's something O somebody's, and you have to be shuttled there from MCO to get your rental car.
Oh my goodness!
It's the scariest thing I've ever seen. We did it once for research purposes. It will never happen again. Other than that, if you stick with the big names, you're good.
Okay. And especially in this day and age with Uber and Lyft.
Yes.
You know, sometimes people are even foregoing their rental vehicles. I mean, you can do that on a budget. So.
Yeah, and you know Disney, you don't need it. Once you're there, once
Yeah.
you're in the bubble, you're magically
Yeah.
transported everywhere you need to go.
Have your Walmart delivered.
It's facts.
That's it. So here's a little twist.
Uh-oh.
What warnings would you give? What should, if somebody's thinking about traveling, they don't really, I'm not sure what destination or what warnings, what should they avoid?
You know that thing you see on Facebook all the time that says, have you ever Googled Mexico? You're planning a trip to, and it's like,
Yeah.
internet vomit, you know?
Mhm.
Doing research on your own, especially with a international destination where things are quite different, where the travel entry and exit requirements can be different, passport, documentation, all those things. Get somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Right.
Even if it's not me, just make sure they know what they're talking about. My ultimate goal, of course, is to make people happy. My second ultimate goal is not to have any of my clients on a Dateline episode. So
that would be bad.
yeah, and so just
we'd have to delete this podcast.
it's true. So like for example, you know, if you don't have the proper documentation during COVID, you would have to test and all these different things, and they're gonna keep you, and you're not coming home. So
Yeah.
we better know what we're talking about.
That's right.
Can I brag on you for a minute about what you did for me? Am I allowed to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
You already talked about the magic wand.
Well, I'm gonna tell you how magic this wand got. So we go down to Florida, and we're down there, and my mom and dad's with us, and we're going through the passports. Opening my dad's passport, and it looks like it's from 1996. My mom just grabbed a passport, didn't realize that she grabbed my dad's old passport. We were getting on the cruise line in 2 days. And I said, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And Carie came to the office, got my dad's passport, flew with the passport down to where we were, and met us at the cruise line with the passport, and saved the day by bringing the passport to
Pretty good.
me to get my dad. So I have to throw that out there because she saved our day there.
And it's good that TSA didn't stop you or anything. What are you doing with
I
this?
have multiple passports.
Yes. You don't look anything like this guy.
It's all right. It's
Yes.
okay. I promise.
What is your
it's
name?
okay.
Jerry.
That's right. It sounds great. And so then talking about passports, how, you know, if you're going international, you need one of those things.
You gotta have it.
When should you get it? When should you think about getting a passport?
You should have one.
Okay.
Oh.
When is the minimum?
You look attacked. Do you have a passport?
Yes. Actually.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So let's say hypothetically someone's never traveled out of the country before, and they know they got to get a passport. If it came down to crunch time, what is the minimum time you think somebody's got in order to get a passport back?
I'm gonna say 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's my conservative.
That's a minimum.
That's
Yes.
a minimum 8 weeks.
Yes, and then also too, another thing going back to getting somebody that knows what they're talking about. I don't know if you knew this, but you cannot travel out of the country with a passport that's gonna expire in 6 months of that trip.
Really? I did not know that.
Wow.
That's
Now
it.
you're already thinking about when your passport expires. Is what
That's
you're
all
thinking
right.
about.
I think mine already expired.
I told you.
I think.
Go to apply for a
I think,
passport, Scott.
I know.
You
Are we
just-
going-
you
where are we
just-
going? We're going to Ireland?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Can I take a boat?
I'm going to Scotland in
A cruise?
September. You should go. You guys should go to Scotland
Oh, I
in
would love
September.
to do that.
Can I take my pontoon?
Sure.
Charter his pontoon across the big boat.
That's it. That's it.
Oh, Lordy.
I think there's, I know at least one last question you want to ask her.
What? Well, no, a couple of things. But, so, I mean, this almost seems too good to be true. So, you're saying that people can contact you, they can get in touch with you, and they don't have to pay anything.
Correct.
Okay. With all your expertise and everything.
Yes, and can I just say,
You can say whatever you want.
I invest in my expertise. So I don't just want you guys to think that, or anyone to think that this is an internet thing.
So you just don't sit at home and watch the Travel Channel?
I do not.
Okay.
Actually, there's true crime a lot, which is
Oh,
scary. And
that's scary.
No,
Ends up
but
on Dateline.
And
but
talking
I-
about out of body.
I was telling the BRG group this. I invest in what I do. So again, back to Mexico. Google Mexico, and there's going to be all these resorts. All of their pictures are going to be so pretty and so awesome, but you're going to go there and you might have picked a place on cheapcaribbean.com and you can't set your suitcase down, or there's nothing but seaweed everywhere. What we do is we have people I travel with pick a destination yearly, go view 15 to 20 resorts within those, and make sure, hey, this one makes the cut, this one doesn't, this one fits this client, but this one doesn't, so you know.
That sounds like
So I just did that in Jamaica a few months ago.
You poor thing. You poor thing.
Okay, so
I had to go to Jamaica. She had to go to Jamaica.
no, listen, now,
Okay.
now
I feel really sorry for her.
I was
No.
in Jamaica all that time, and my toes did not touch the ocean until the last night
Oh.
because I was 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
every day touring.
Okay.
There was no fun.
So
No fun.
No fun
She
we
was
had.
serious the whole time.
you know, in Scotland, if you were to say, Jeremy or Scott, I think this is the place you need to go.
hmm
Even if it's two different spots, if you said, Scott, I think you need to go here, where would you book him for today?
I think he needs to go to, first of all, Disneyland and then a Disney cruise.
Mm. Okay.
You. Once I get
Need to add a van, and
yes,
then.
Ativan and Beaches, Turks and Caicos.
Ooh, can I go with him?
So we gotta hit
Good.
Disneyland while
You
we're.
have to get Disneyland under your belt.
No, but I like that too. All inclusive. Okay, so
And a
so
massage.
and oh well. So how is the best way that people can get in touch with you? How do you prefer people get in touch with you?
But in order to initiate a quote or to get started planning, I like you to go to my website, which is travelwithcarie.com.
Okay.
There is a destinations page.
Spell that Carie.
It's Carie. One R, blame my father. for
That's
that.
why I wanted you to say
Yeah.
that because I knew that. That's why I wanted you to say that.
Yes, so travelwithcarie.com, you'll go to the destinations page. It's going to have, you can choose from anything because a lot of people, they do see me. I scream Disney everywhere I go, but I do have expertise in a lot of these other destinations. So, you know, cruises, all-inclusives, Europe, all of these things. You can scroll through there and there is a tailor-made quote request for each of those destinations. You put as much information as you can in there, what details, what things is going to make it spark to you, and then I will get to work on it. I'll probably text you because I'm a weirdo and say, hey, let's talk. I cruised with this guy.
Sounds good.
She
All
saved my
right.
butt.
Sounds good.
So there is one last question.
Well, there's one last question, but is there anything else?
I'm scared.
Is there anything else, Carie, that you would like to talk about or that we haven't touched on? Anything that we, travel-wise, anything that we haven't touched on that you think might be beneficial to people? Anything?
I think, just like Jeremy said, you don't realize the benefits of a travel advisor having that person that you can call. I know if something happens to me in my vehicle that I can call Jeremy right away and he's going to take care of me. I think that that's a key asset to have no matter where you're traveling. my car's not here, my luggage is lost, blah, blah, blah. And you don't want to be wasting your valuable time on your trip searching for those answers when I can have it in 30 seconds and begin working on it while you take care of your family or whoever you're traveling with.
Crying kids and everything.
Right, yeah, gotcha.
Your kids never cry.
No, they're angels.
They're
They're
angelic.
perfect.
All right. Okay, so one last question, and this is a very difficult question that we're going
Okay.
to end on.
Okay.
What's your favorite dessert?
I love that you have this on here because I actually just discovered it about 3 days ago.
Oh my.
Yes.
Okay.
Vanilla ice cream.
with sprinkles.
Well, Ellen's is up there. Ellen's
Okay.
is up there
Okay.
for sure. But you know that Disney is famous for bread puddings.
Oh yes.
Different,
Yes.
Raglan
Mhm.
Road,
Mhm.
Ohana. And I thought that those two were the kings.
Okay.
They are not.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
Where'd you get it from?
Sebastian's Bistro
Where's
at the
that?
Caribbean Beach Resort.
Oh, okay. And I've stayed at Caribbean Beach for like
I-
2 or 3 times.
I've stayed there I've literally stayed there 9 or 10
yes,
times.
Yes.
I, myself and a girlfriend of mine went to dinner there the other night. It's a new menu. It's like a family style Caribbean menu. And so they're like, we have this bread pudding and it's fantastic and it's the best and blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, right. So this is not Raglan Road. This is not Ohana. Y'all are joking. It is coconut pineapple bread pudding with homemade caramel sauce and ice cream. And I'm pretty sure Jesus gave him the recipe.
So we need to do a chew and review.
That's right. At Disney. But that's great because we're going to post this on YouTube and also Facebook, and we'll post all of your contact information on
Oh,
there.
perfect.
But we'll probably have to get a picture of that bread pudding
I
dessert.
actually
so that
have
we-
a perfect pour of that caramel as a video.
Yeah, we'll post that. We'll post that. So people want to go on vacation, just eat dessert.
Just
Now I do want to
dessert.
say it's Caribbean Beach.
Mhm.
It's priced super well.
Yes.
We've stayed there literally 9 or 10 times. Literally, I'm not even joking. It's the hub for the Skyliner,
Mhm.
and I really like that resort. It's very kid friendly. The
Yes.
pool's phenomenal.
Pool is
Yeah, that's what you
fantastic.
recommended us to go where to go to, and we love that resort.
Yes, yeah, it's a good one. I was there the other evening. I'll tell you, it's a large resort too. I'm just gonna throw
It's
this out
huge.
there for anybody thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to walk with my luggage and all this business. I called for luggage service, and do you know that they came and picked me and my luggage up in a van and took me to the front?
Wow.
And it wasn't just because I had my magic wand.
They treat everyone like
They
that.
do.
And what's so cool about that resort is they got parking areas for each these little 2-story huts.
Mhm.
It's phenomenal. That's one of my favorite places to stay at Disney.
It's very beautiful.
Well, Carie Hamm from Travel with Carie. Thank
One
you.
R.
Thank you very much for being our guest today. We appreciate it very much.
It's fun to hang out with you guys. You guys
I
are
know.
It is
They're
fun.
pretty
It
okay.
is pretty
I have
fun.
to
I
admit.
have fun hanging out with myself too.
I
So
believe that.
that's right. Exactly. So this is Insurance Buddies, and I'm Scott,
I'm Jeremy.
and this is Carie.
She forgot her name.
This is speechless.
With one R. With one R.
One R.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining us.
See you guys.